Greetings and welcome to part 2 of my series covering my recent trip to Italy to explore the ancient Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum in detail. In this video, I'll take you on my entire 2-day journey through the ancient Roman city of Pompeii. I will label every building or area throughout the journey and provide a map with the route that I took to see almost the entire city, so you could also use this video as a guide or to help figure out the areas you would really like to see on your visit to this incredible ancient city. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, it explains my trip, the order I visited places, and my personal recommendations of what to prepare and bring if you plan on visiting Pompeii or Herculaneum yourself to allow you to get the most out of your visit. I filmed everything in 4K 60fps on my Sony Xperia 1 Mark V, so join me and explore Pompeii like you've never seen it. Well, first view into the entrance of Pompeii. Oh yeah, for reference, the entrance to Pompeii is here. Oh wow. Whoa. God, look at that. Look at the wall work. Flippin' heck. So this is the front of Pompeii as you come through the entrance leading to the front gate. It's got this, how they cover it in plaster. They're painted red. This one's painted more blue, you can see from back then. Original Roman road as well, coming down and up into Pompeii. Ooh. Gosh, these roads are bumpy. So this would have been the main gates into the city, and it's quite a tall door as you can see. And these blocks have gaps far enough apart to allow wagons through. This stone to the left has rust markings, so might have been remnants from the original ironworks of the gate door. And these stones have a clear lip where the door would have been shut against, so the door would have only opened inwards. And the stone on the left still has very clear cutouts where some of the frame of the door would have sat. I then continued up the main path through the tunnel. This is the first room ruin I saw, and it's got a nice pot and what looks like a milling stone in it. I took a first left and came across this really nice marble water fountain, which is probably one of the best conditioned ones in Pompeii, but a lot of this area down here was all blocked off. The streets were designed like this with raised paths, which acted like gutters or sewers to drain water away and avoid buildings being flooded, and you'll see stepping stones everywhere allowing people to cross the streets. There are water fountains like the one I just showed you scattered all across the city, which they could overflow to allow water to run down the streets to help wash away any built-up sewage and debris, keeping the streets relatively clean. This was probably a little stall where they were serving with the pots. Yeah. I wonder what that was for. And then that would have been where the villa would have had an opening in the roof above it, and that would have collected rainwater. You'll see these notches on the high curbs around Pompeii for hitching posts so people can tie their animals outside while visiting a building. This is the first main temple that you'll see, called the Sanctuary of Apollo, and a lot of these high-end temples have really nice marble steps that are still in pretty good condition. Well, that's a big block sat on top of those pillars. So this Sanctuary of Apollo is one of the most important temples in Pompeii, and it's right next to the Forum. This is the rear end of the Sanctuary of Apollo. And there was a gated off room at the back I had to have a look in. Pillar bases in there with some very nice art on them. Here's my first view of the Forum from the Sanctuary of Apollo. The Forum covers a stretch of around 150 metres in length and has the Temple of Jupiter at its head. I head out of the sanctuary back onto the entrance road and notice the small bits of marble between stones on the road. Now, I've heard a couple of guides explaining that they use these like modern road cat's eyes to help light up the road in the moonlight. However, I'm not sure about this, as I'm pretty sure this small road from the entrance gate to the Forum is the only road in all of Pompeii with these bits of marble. And I think I only saw one villa use marble like this on the entrance to their house. So to me, these marble specks on the road appear to just be decorative, and decorating this specific road would make sense anyway, as it's the main road from the city gate to the Forum where people would be introduced to the city if entering for the first time. Right, so let's carry on and cross this road and check out the Basilica. And again, looks like original marble steps going into the Basilica. Oh, this is fantastic. These pillars on the centre of the basilica as well don't appear to be coated like the rest of them. See if we can get a bit of a view from above. Quite hard to tell, but they've clearly got like a central column bit as well in the middle. The basilica was an extremely important building and served as the court of law, where Pompeians would discuss their civil cases and legal matters. It also featured an upper floor, but most upper floors in Pompeii collapsed under the ash and sediment from the Vesuvius eruption. These little marble reliefs as well. Right, so from the basilica to the far side of the forum. Yeah, you can see how it was all aligned. This basically aligns almost perfectly by the looks of it. The forum was considered the heart of Pompeii. It was primarily the hub of political activity where decisions affecting the city and its citizens were made. It was a bustling commercial hotspot for merchants, traders and consumers. Markets here sold everything from food to fabrics. The forum also served as a religious centre, with temples dedicated to various deities. And there's the forum with Vesuvius looming over. Just imagine the sight when it erupted and they didn't even know it was a volcano because it hadn't gone off for, I think it was 1800 years before it went off in 79 AD. Yeah, this wall work is all done on the same sort of pattern from each one as well. The way they got some red bricks coming in segmented and then all into like the diagonal squared, almost mosaic look of the rest of the wall. It's so uniform, it would look beautiful. To be fair, it still does. God, the amount of work that would have gone into mosaic in this entire floor is incredible, because all of these, the white tiles and the black tiles, they are all mosaic size. The House of Geometric Mosaics being situated next to the forum must have been owned by an important family, but it's currently unknown who due to the lack of any inscriptions or other evidence. Look at that. Incredible. But this whole house has mosaic floor in it everywhere. Just look at it. Every room. Just this house alone must have taken weeks or months to floor. Oh, you can kind of see the patterns there as well. And all with marble steps going into each room as well. So this was most likely the main entrance into this mosaic house. And wow, the condition of this. Incredible. There's no restoration sign on this mosaic floor, so I'm assuming this is all original. Don't know whether this room was originally mosaic. It's got another marble step going into it. I can't see any mosaic on the floor, so maybe this was a storage room, or maybe like a less important room than the rest. But still, you can see where they got the holes in the walls which would have supported beams. And these are only about 5 foot off the floor, something like that, maybe a tiny bit less. So, well, the top of them would have been about 5 foot. So it might have been shelves for things, because they would have been an easy reach then. Another mosaic floor in this little room. This is probably the smallest of the rooms so far. And I wonder what this room was for. Another fantastic mosaic floor. The amount of time that it would have taken to put all this together, because like, it's just everything in this floor is mosaic, even these bits that just look plain white. The whole floor of this whole house is mosaic. Very fancy marble skirt in here as well. There are more rooms out the back, which you can't really go because this one's roped off. But yep, some more mosaic there as well as some more enclosures. And then this is the last room in the mosaic house that we can actually see. And it looks like there were some counters probably built here that came up. But again, another very intricate mosaic. The floor bulges here though. I'm not sure if you can get the perspective on camera, but it really bulges in that point. So if I move around a little bit, if you can get a bit of parallax to see how much it bulges. But look at that. I wonder what made it bulge so much. And so this would have been a Roman gym. You can see there that there were pillars inside as well. And yeah, it looks like the pictures are of people showering, and there might be more of people working out and doing other things. You can see where the whole wall would have been decorated and painted. Now you can see how they've put scaffolding up to hold these pillars, but look at that scaffolding to hold that pillar at that angle. That is some dedication to try and keep it in place from where they found it. The whole place is aligned like this basically, with these little stepping stones for people to actually be able to cross. And this one is known as the House of the Boar. I'm assuming that's a mosaic of a boar on the floor. So this is the first proper bakery that I saw, so it was great seeing an oven this large still intact. And then you got the typical Roman sort of mill type stones for crushing grains. And then I'm assuming these containers out here are maybe for grains or already baked goods. Look, there's a lizard. You see the lizard? Look at the lizard. Oh, he's moving. Wow, look at this. You've got this pillar that goes from here, but then when you look down, it goes quite far into the ground. I'd say another maybe 8-foot drop below the bottom of the pillar. That's mad. It had this little protective thing over it, but it wasn't secured, so I thought I'd just take it off and take a quick little video. This turns out to be quite common in large houses, as many were designed with an opening in the roof angling inwards directly above a water collector, with a cistern under the floor like a small reservoir where fresh rainwater would be collected for use in the house. And the main water collectors normally have a visible drainage hole like you can see here. This is the Triangular Forum. The Triangular Forum was built on the highest point in Pompeii, and right in the theatre district next to the Grand Theatre. So this is the entrance to the Triangular Forum. Let's head on in. They got these water fountains everywhere scattered throughout the city. This is the first junction we've already seen like this, with two of the stepping stone things next to each other where they intersect. Just a little look outside the Triangular Forum.
The name is street.
And some marble bowl as well. All very nicely decorated. It's much smaller than the main forum, but also seems to be more of a religious area, with a Doric temple in the middle of the forum, which is considered to be one of the oldest buildings in Pompeii, believed to be stood there from around the 6th century BCE and first used to worship Hercules, the mythical founder of the city. Then they got these huge bases in each corner as well. Each one of these looks nearly 1.5 meters. And then off to the side of the temple, as you go down the steps, there's a very strange room because of the way the walls are laid out. Looks like quite a basic square room. But then there was clearly a wall here at the side as well, on the inside, to separate it. And then there's these peculiar stones as well. So I don't know what these would have been for, whether these would have been either side of the door, like this one. Not sure if that was replaced or if it's in situ still. Well, 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 what do we have here? So that's the Grand Theater. Then next to it is the Odeon behind that wall. We'll go down and see that in a minute. And then all this area here, which is surrounded by pillars and now grass, Used to be the gladiators' barracks. So I wonder what this looked like in its glory days. But it's quite a huge area. But still, the city is sprawling. Just imagining the image of when Vesuvius went off and it just getting covered in pumice and ash. Looks like the Grand Theatre is under work at the moment, so I can't go in there unfortunately, but that's about the best view that I can get from here of it. But we should be able to go and see the Odeon, which is a smaller version just behind that wall over there. So this is the Odeon, the smaller theatre, which could seat around 1,500 people, whereas the Grand Theatre could seat around 5,000 people. That marble floor is awesome. The street right outside the theatres is full of shops which would have sold snacks, fast food and drinks, etc. and perhaps even merchandise and items relevant to a show. So the plain shop counter here, but still the marble looks very nice even 2,000 years later.
Yeah, this marble, yes, it's original.
It's amazing.
So is that for fire?
For food or for drinks.
So with these shops, these are all original marble counters as well still. None of these have been restored. This is all original and it's still phenomenal. You know, you could use these today, no problem. But then one thing that seems to distinguish between shops and houses is that shops have these indentations for sliding doors at the bottom. So if you see a space for sliding doors, you pretty much know it's a shop. You can even see some of these grooves where carriages and things would have been driving by. And just look how they've indented into the ground. You can really see how they cut into the ground on this one. It's quite amazing, and it really gives you an idea of how wide the carriages were as well. But gosh, that's so close. It looks like a lot of carriages scuff their wheels across this stone.
Second floor. That was a shop. Another.
So this shop appears to have a regular door opening on the left and then goes into the track for the rest of the shop front. So this is one of those counters. The side of this is missing, so you can see the whole terracotta pots and how deep down they go. And they literally reach the very bottom of the counters by the looks of it, almost to the floor. So it's quite clear that they planned their shop layouts, they put the pots in place and then built the counters around the pots. And what is this for? Can't really tell. It kind of looks like restoration work though. So this is the Temple of Asclepius. We've got the original altar there, still in situ by the looks of it. God, looking at the indentations from the tracks from the wagons though, it's just still insane. Look at that. And you can see here, there are a lot of wagons would have taken like a bit of a sharp turn right just to get over to that road over there. Let's get a bit of a further thing back. And it's another little shop just off the main stretch. This one's only got one pot. And it's got some shelves, whatever else they were selling. It's very interesting how all the bits of marble are a completely different texture and design just to give it that varied look. It's very cool. This is the House of Cehi, a well-preserved villa, and this house has a huge cast of the door. The original wooden door rotted away, leaving a void in the compacted sediment, which was filled with plaster and still includes the original ironworks of the door, as you can see.
Esatto, sono stato qui. Esatto, da lì non ci siamo più fermati. Arrivederci.
Wow. Wow.
And they use the well to take water, yeah, exactly. So they can use it inside the house.
It's very clever.
Yeah,
2,000 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Real luxury home. God, and that you can still see so much of the paint on the walls as well. So this seems like a plaster cast from a void from an old cupboard or a wardrobe or something. And it's quite spacious inside. And I found it really interesting that it even has feet, just like more modern standalone wardrobes or cupboards. And there's a clearer view of the drain to collect water for the well underneath for use for the house. There's a stair set over there in the corner. It looks like it goes up there, and I think that up there was a remnant, so a top floor, but where would it have gone? It was quite shallow unless it was used for storage. The amazing fresco towards the rear of this house has had a little bit of restoration, including cleaning it with lasers and just touching up some of the colour. I want to remember where I'm looking at. These are amazing.
The exit is on the other side, on the left.
The House of the Silver Treasure appears to be one of the richest houses in Pompeii, thought to be owned by the Pompei family due to graffiti and a ring seal bearing the family name. And Poppaea Sabina, for example, was a Roman empress as the second wife to Emperor Nero.
A story. I mean, once again, it's a way to say we know the Greek culture.
Yeah.
Look in the middle, you have the Troy horse. Mm-hmm. It's the Troy war story. Mm-hmm. So you have the Troy horse in the middle. Over there, you have the kidnapping of Cassandra. Mm-hmm. Cassandra is the woman that tells to the Trojan people, be careful, the horse is not a gift of the Lord.
There was a large stash of silver treasures that were found at this house, which is what gives it its name. And during excavation, around 18 victims were found in this house due to the Vesuvius eruption. Actually, yeah, let's get a bit more footage of that, because that's original. Gosh, it's an amazing condition. Wow, look at this. Oh my gosh. And another water collection, one of these back rooms as well. God, that floor is incredible. All mosaic like everything else. Wealthy houses such as this often had their own shrine, allowing them to pray without needing to visit an external temple.
And this is the beautiful painting that gives the name, right? And we think that on the other side we should have a writer of common, because the Romans, they never forget that the two opposite.
And this is a reconstruction of one of the carts that would have been pulled through the street. And yeah, the axles of those wheels are probably nearly a metre off the ground, probably about 80-90 centimetres, a good 2 or 3 foot. And it looks like it was wood, lined with some type of metal. And a mini water catch that only looks about a metre across. There's a little window on the roof up there. Oh, it's even got reliefs on them.
The detail.
Yeah. Let's get a zoom in picture of that. This house appears mainly for olive oil production. They have a huge olive grove and numerous ways of pressing the olives. They may have used this to just stomp on the olives to get the oil out, which was the most old school way of pressing. But then on one of the inside rooms, there's a more advanced Roman olive press, which is extremely impressive to look at. It's like a gigantic pestle and mortar. The wooden handles seem to be reconstructed, but the stone parts are original, and I'm not sure about the ironwork. Very interesting. The Garden of Fugitives is one of numerous places that have casts of victims' bodies on display, but I won't show any of them in this video as it can be quite distressing to some as you see these people in their last moments. But I will be making an upcoming video showing all the body casts I saw in Pompeii and explain how they were cast. Exiting out from the bottom of the Garden of Fugitives leads to the Necropolis of Porta Stabia, where you'll start seeing these Mediterranean pine trees. Now, Pliny the Younger, a lawyer, author and magistrate of ancient Rome, famously described the shape of the eruption cloud from Mount Vesuvius as resembling a Mediterranean pine tree. And Pliny's descriptions about Vesuvius were so detailed that even modern volcanologists describe those types of eruptions as Plinian eruptions. Now, walking through the Necropolis of Porta Stabia, representing what was once a much larger necropolis, was one of the most prestigious burial zones in Pompeii. Very gloomy and tomby. You see inside this tomb? It's roped off. The tombs were uncovered beginning in the 19th century and included monuments for some of the city's most elite families. No, can't really see inside. At the east side of the necropolis is a good example of the volcanic ash and sediment layers that covered the entire city from the eruption. You can see here how it just filled in these arches. Next up is the Amphitheater. It was one of the earliest Roman amphitheaters built of stone and designed to host around 20,000 people. Unfortunately, when I visited, they were preparing for an event, so the central area was fenced off. But I filmed what I could. Really high ceilings as well, aren't they? I guess they would have needed to be. They probably would have been like riding chariots and things down this way. The amphitheatre had the capacity to hold about 4 times as many people as the Grand Theatre. In fact, most historians estimate the population of Roman Pompeii to be between 10 and 20,000 people. So this amphitheatre may have been able to seat the entire population of its own city, which is extremely impressive. As you can see, the central section is out of bounds due to an upcoming concert, and the hallways are filled with advertisements and informational posters about the event. So if you want to experience the amphitheatre fully, it might be wise to check dates for events so you can either work around them, or even go to an event if you want to experience a concert at the theatre. So this was a big villa. The next house translates to the Farm of Julia Felice. I entered through a large park at the rear of this property that may have been used for growing fruits and veg after I learnt the translation. These pillars are original as well. I think they are. There's a lot of chips in them. And marble as well. This mosaic, the gutter. The Romans were very practical storing fresh water for use, as these roofs guide rain to the gutter, which would feed into any reservoirs or cisterns in the property. Most villas had their water collectors in the main atrium of the house, but quite a few utilised their garden gutters like this as well. Oh wow, look at that. These pillars look incredible. These are the first real rectangular pillars we've seen here. Most of them have been circular, as are most normal pillars. Oh, I can't go through that bit, it's roped off. So this is the main atrium at the entrance to this farmhouse. The roof is a modern reconstruction. The floor is still in lovely condition, so they built a walkway over this floor for protection. And as you can see, this water collector is quite plain but appears like a very neat and practical design. Heading out of the building onto the next street, we are greeted with a working water fountain to our left. There are a few around the city that work if you need to top up your water bottles. If you have children with you, there is a children's museum if you turn right from this building that might be worth a visit, but I skipped it and just continue left up the street. Yes, this is another shop. And even though it's pretty obvious from the counter, you can always tell the shops by these sliding door tracks. But yeah, this one's got a circular pot as well, like a lot of the other ones, but then it's got a big square or rectangle one as well. So that was obviously for either bigger things or things you didn't need to scoop out. Look at the quality of the marble counter still, it's amazing. 2,000 years old, this. I've seen people with 10-year-old countertops that are in worse condition than this. And here's one of these water fountains, but obviously not an original Roman tap, but has a more modern tap fitted in and showing the running water, so you've still got the water system going underneath. Ooh. Gosh, these stones take you by surprise, it's so uneven. So these doors that look like stone, these are casts of doors, which were wooden. You can see the original ironwork as well. It's quite amazing. You can tell this was a house because it had double doors which pushed open and no sliding door track. So this is a big shop. And then yeah, more of these pots. You can see another unburied pot as well. But quite a few in here. And a blocked up door at the back there. It's a very nice crest. Then they got another cast of a door there. Okay, thank you. This next villa is the house of Octavius Quartio, and it has a huge doorway, including casts of the doors with the original ironworks. So your casts taken of the original doors. These are huge. These are nearly 4 meters tall, these doors. So these would have been wooden and then adorned with iron. But then what are these nubbins? The villa is also known for wonderful frescoes and some amazing decorative pieces, including what looks like a sort of shrine at the end of a water feature just before the garden area. So this presumably would have been filled with water. And this is the garden to this villa. It is quite big, it goes quite far back. A lot of very wealthy people in Pompeii. And there's these statues as well. Ooh. Is that a statue of Octavius' face? Well, that looks like Octavius, if I remember rightly. And now these statues, ones that were originally found in this house. Very intriguing. We have a Sphinx here. So there's Octavius with the massive doors. Looks like he might have owned this shop here. He's got nice big counters, room there for storage. You can tell this part's a shop because of the sliding door tracks. And there's a door leading straight from inside his house to here. So this must have been his shop that he owned. God, look at the quality of this door track. This is all still in marble. You might have seen more in marble, but I can't remember seeing any of this. Especially in this pristine condition. That's quite amazing. And they got pots for smaller openings. And a little square opening there on the end bit. But, oh, I just love these marble counters. The quality of them still are amazing. This looks like it was a heck of a busy junction. Very lumpy. Just get closer to the ground so you can see perspective more. But look at that. That is super lumpy. And these clearly look like indents, like crazy indents from cartwheels somehow. And here's another shop, but with an actual painted, decorated front. A lot of space back there. Another interesting yet different example of a shop. Again, you can tell by the sliding door track. Well, look at that.
See you there. And just to let you know that Raji found on the...
It's in quite fantastic condition. And it's obviously crumbled towards the back, but then all the pots are exposed. You can see, like that pot, for example, I would say that is about 80 centimetres wide. You could fit a lot in there. And that's 80 centimetres wide at the very sort of top corner here. But then what were these tracks? Right here. Looks like there's like tracks on the wall. What could they have been for? They might have just had wooden beams with shelves or something going up it, but I do not know. Another characteristic I haven't seen in a building yet. God, I see different details in so many different places. It's amazing. And another example of a shop, but with much more aesthetically pleasing marble tiles. And it's still got the pots as well. As well as pots back here and shelves for whatever other items. And just off that street, this view is from Cascina dell'Aquila in the centre of Pompei, where there are toilets, a smoking area and a restaurant if you need a bit of a refreshment. I didn't go in the restaurant, so I'm not sure what it's like, but you get these awesome views overlooking the buildings of Pompeii with Vesuvius looming ominously in the distance. God, this is a wide road. This must have been like... yeah, this must have been the main road. Gosh, and it goes all the way up there, all the way back up to the Forum and the Basilica. It appears that most of these buildings on the main road leading back to the Forum were shops, so was this the equivalent of a main shopping high street like we know today? As we're passing this water fountain, I don't think I've mentioned that they were secured with iron staples to help keep them together during earthquakes. Just before reaching the Forum, on this specific wall there are scoop marks. The material looks like it may be Roman concrete when compared to the surrounding stone and brick constructions, so perhaps the scoop marks were made before the concrete fully set. I thought it was interesting to document, as I think this was the only wall I saw these scoop marks on in Pompeii, but I know you Geopoly and AHT people love your scoop marks in ancient constructions, so here's another one for you. Just taking a little wander around the forum, as this is probably one of the emptiest that you'll see it, as it's coming towards closing time, but you can just imagine what it looked like with the whole floor covered in these big tiles, maybe some decorative tiles, not really sure because most of them are missing, and adorned with pillars all around the outside, statues, the Temple of Jupiter on the far end. It just would have looked incredible. I got all that covered in plastic to preserve it. And looking out into the centre of the forum. That one actually goes down quite deep, that's a bit over a metre. You can't see this deep into most of the other ones at all. Some of these stones must have been later. Most of the tracks go around the side of the stones, but this one clearly shows that there were tracks in line where the stones have actually been placed after. Last stop for the day was the brothel, which I'll be making a separate video about, also showing various adult-related Roman items and paintings I saw in Pompeii and at the National Archaeological Museum of Naples, as I want to keep this tour video clear of any controversial or adult themes.
That's where the magic would happen.
On the way out on the first day, I see this large unfinished marble block, clearly showing the tooling and pounding marks to roughly get it into shape. It's nearly 7 PM and Pompeii is about to shut, so this is me leaving on day 1, ready to return again in a couple of days to see the rest of the city. God, look at the way they catch the light, they really do have an effect. But were they decorative or were they actually for road guidance? And this is where Sanctuary of Venus would have been, but most of it's been decimated unfortunately. But still, we'll see how it goes on when they do some of the recovery work, because there are a lot of objects here. Returning back for day 2 of Pompeii exploration, you can just see how busy the forum is earlier in the day. Oh, and fun fact I found mind-blowing. I mentioned earlier that the estimated population of Pompeii was between 10 and 20,000 people. Well, the site is limited to 20,000 visitors per day, so on one day the same amount of people that originally lived in this city 2,000 years ago could visit this city as us future tourists. This is the Roman baths behind the Temple of Jupiter end of the forum. The marble water fountain is in amazing condition and would spill water onto a heated floor to make steam. The ceiling is carved with grooves like that to allow condensation to drip down the walls and not on customers' heads. Even though we can't see the cavities for the underfloor heating, there are a couple of gaps in the wall where you can see how they built a pocket between the walls to trap circulating heat from under the floor. There's another hole in the wall here, and it didn't look obvious on the first one we just looked at, but on this one it clearly looks like the space divider nubs are attached to or made from metal, at least some of them. And here is the Roman bath at the head of that room. As you can see, it is lined with marble tiles and still looks very nice today. And of course marble steps to help safely climb in the bath. I didn't film the changing room on the way in as it was full of people, so I was hoping it would be a bit clearer on the way out, but it wasn't, so I had to film what I could while battling the crowd flow. Anyway, walking into the changing room, you can see all these statues around the room with a space in between each statue. Well, each space was essentially a locker where someone would store their clothes and belongings before entering the bath. Next, we enter the Suburban Villas, which is currently an extra €4 more than a regular ticket, but I think it's well worth it and would definitely recommend as long as you have enough time. I would probably set aside 1 or 2 hours for this section alone, depending on how thoroughly you want to explore it. But first, you take a walk through the Necropolis of Porta Ercolano, which features some incredible tombs from some of the wealthiest families in Pompeii.
And then what's in there? Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Oh wow, it goes down as well. Oh, not that deep. Interesting. This is a very interesting tomb. Look at this door. Marble. It looks like it's been pushed a bit open. Kind of looks like it might have been on a hinge kind of mechanism, because it's almost closed that side, but clearly pried open a bit on this side. Very interesting. That's Diomedes' tomb by the looks of it. And then opposite this tomb is the Villa de Diomede. So Diomedes' villa. Oh, very nice. We got some stairs to go down as well. And this looks like that was the well to access, but the top has been covered by a stone. I'm not going to take that off. That's a little bit big and rude to move. Oh, there might be one over the other side. I see a hole in the top of that little pillar. Oh, what was in this little room? Oh, it looks like a water, maybe water fountain or something in there. Can't really see in there, but it looks like a pretty plain room. You can still see some of the paint on the walls. He liked his red Diomedes. Oh, no, that would have been a well pillar, but that doesn't lead to a well. He's got it covered though with a roof, so I wonder if they're still excavating or it's just to protect it in general. Oh, Diomedes had a nice view. Is that his garden down there as well? Oh, looks like it. Ah, I bet that's where the downstairs at the entrance goes. Wow, look at that garden. Definitely a house of luxury. More rooms here. Oh wow. Gosh, this villa's massive. I wonder if this is the biggest villa in Pompeii. Certainly one of them. And it's the one with the most accessible levels. Like, you can't normally go down that low or upstairs. Gorgeous. What's down there? I don't know. Yeah, probably. Not sure if we could see through there exactly, but may as well for the footage. An arch out. Gosh, this complex is huge. Easily one of the biggest villas in Pompeii. So heading downstairs in the Villa de Villa de Diomedes. What's in here? I'm glad I brought my torch with me just to see a bit extra details. This bit's roped off down here, so I can't explore these rooms properly. Oh, that's a shame, because they look like a tiny little, like, either underground storage room for cooling stuff or a little dungeon where he kept his prisoners, which you could see from up there, down there, but it's right behind this wall here. He did love red. Most of the paint you can see in this villa is red. Ooh,
You wouldn't turn it around, could you? Of course not.
Might expect courtesy from people. Living on the wrong planet, Mum. I know. Oh, here we go. We got some well-preserved painting in here. Yeah. I'm so glad I bought my torch this time. I regretted not bringing it last time. There's so many holes and dark places you want to look in.
I think it's so valuable to bring a telescopic torch to these sites from now, as this room was so dark you can't see any of this without the torch.
Yeah, you can see how they built most of these things with very rough stones with mortar in between them. And then just layered some layer of kind of plaster or concrete over the top for them to have the nice flat walls to be able to decorate how they wanted. And that probably offered really good insulation as well, having multi-layers of different materials. This is the big garden area where you can't really see the floor area because there's so many trees and bushes. But that is a big garden. And all these on every single one. Oh wow, look at the central garden complex bit. Gosh, I'm assuming that was full of water. That over the other edge of this square, that looks deep. You can't even see the bottom from here. And that's about 1.5 meters of depth, at least I can see just from here. Like, I imagine this central bit was probably pillared and then roofed with something like a Roman gazebo. And then, yeah, see with these pillars, you can see where they built them up out of brick. And then this would have just been like Roman concrete covering the outside to neaten them up. And these rooms are roped off, but I think they're just very plain storage rooms. And let's see how deep this pond or whatever it was. Oh yes, and this one was painted blue by the looks of it, majoritarily. A couple of pillar remnants in the middle. But yeah, this was probably a big pond or water feature, and I'd say that's about 2 meters deep. That would have been awesome to look at in the garden in their Roman gazebo. It looks like all the inside of the pool was painted blue as well. That's the only colour that seems to be visible on some of the remnants. Red. Everywhere is red. Oh, it doesn't go up that high. It goes up about 3 or 4 meters. Oh, I'm back to where we were, yeah. Very nice.
And now on to the Villa of Mysteries, which overall may be the best preserved house in all of Pompeii.
Villa da Misteri. Gosh, look at this stonework. These pillars don't look like they were made to cover in flat concrete like a lot of other pillars. They actually look like they were made like this to be decorative. Very nice. Obviously modern ceiling restoration. Yeah, these were made with the, whatever you would call this pattern, like a lot of pillars in Roman times. Villa of the Mysteries. Nice charming mosaic floor there with some lovely colours throughout. I haven't really seen a mosaic floor quite like that yet.
This small area with a water collector is next to the peristyle or internal courtyard of the house, which we can't access currently due to ongoing archaeological works. And then this room, I noticed a drainage hole at the bottom, so that got me intrigued and I had to get a picture of it as well. Especially that even this little hole had mosaic flooring in it. And look how tiny those tiles get. That's some crazy detail.
All very charming mosaic floor throughout the Villa of Mysteries. And there you can see the drain over there in the corner to collect water to go under the house for use. That's a very intricate mosaic pattern. And this room is probably about 6 meters long, maybe 7 at a push. But look at that. 2,000 years old.
And this is the main atrium. It's huge, and I think it's the largest one in Pompeii. The roof's been reconstructed, and there's holes in the wall in sections for wooden beams above the main doors, so there was an upper section of some sort. And the water collector in this room has been stripped of its decoration. There's some preserved ancient graffiti in this room, which is essentially a caricature of an old man scratched into the wall. Currently, the original main entrance to the house and peristyle have ongoing excavations, so we couldn't see those areas. It's so impressive how vibrant the paint is in every room, with intricate mosaic flooring in almost every room as well. You can just feel how luxurious this house would have been in its glory days. And from an angle, just look how smooth and reflective this paint still is. I'm not sure if this is one of the walls that's been preserved using oils, but it's still extremely impressive.
That's probably the most detailed door so far.
I found the cast of this door very interesting, as it looks like it was a folding door due to the slightly zigzag orientation of each door piece. The detail of how the original wood was carved is very clear in the cast also. There's even what appears to be some of the original hinges.
There's a few more rooms back there, but they're kind of blocked off at the moment. There's a lot of scaffolding, so I think they're doing some restoration work. I love how you can tell, like obviously these pillars have got brick underneath, and then they had probably Roman concrete covering them, but then you can always tell the pillars that weren't meant to be covered and the walls, because they had very specific layers of patterns. So when they were new, or 2,000 years ago, they would have looked very neat. What's this hole in the wall over here for? Not much down there. God, the size of these mosaic tiles. This must have taken so long. If you look at my finger, these mosaic tiles are literally like about 4 millimeters wide. Maybe not even that. A lot of them are a lot smaller. It's absolutely crazy to think of the work that went in. Gorgeous floor again. Oh, drop your pen. Oh, and I'm assuming this is a cast of a big window. More black paint on these walls. What is that? I've got to get a zoom-in picture of that in a second. It almost looks like you've got a slightly gold trim on some of these as well. So well preserved, it's incredible. And then you've got this, which remarkably looks like a modern dumbwaiter. It goes down. Don't know how far, and up, don't know how far. Let's see if I can get the torch on it.
I'm still trying to figure out what this was for. It looks similar to a modern dumbwaiter or laundry chute, but I noticed in the footage I took that there's damage here from where it looks like it was covered, like the original ceiling to this chute was where this plaster was built up to. If you have any ideas or insights, please leave a comment on what you think this shaft is.
See how far that goes up until I see the footage after. See if I can get a safe shot of it going down as well. So, I think I can see the bottom there.
This is the room that gives the Villa of the Mysteries its name, as this huge fresco that wraps around the room is believed to be depicting an initiation in the mystery cult of the god of wine, Bacchus, also known as Dionysus. This room also boasts large marble tiled flooring, which was very rare to see at this time. The people on the fresco are nearly life-size at around 5 foot tall. The whole wall has a coat of wax and oil to help preserve it, and looking at it, it's hard to believe that it was painted over 2,000 years ago and still looks this vibrant today. After I was finished exploring the suburban villas, there was just this last section of Pompeii to cover. Quite a few of the streets were blocked off or having work done, unfortunately, so couldn't see the entire area, but still found some interesting things I hadn't seen anywhere else in Pompeii.
Well, look at this. This wall is decorated with bits of terracotta pots. This is definitely curved. This is definitely a pot rim. So this behind this gating looks like old Roman lead piping. Look at that.
There's only a few places in Pompeii that still have the ancient lead piping in place. These are on the side of a street, and I have another example to show you in a villa shortly.
Another very big shop there. Again, sliding door track like the rest of them.
This house has its own brothel, so there are another couple of pictures that I can't show due to the adult nature of it, but I will be making a video showcasing all the adult related things I saw, as there are some hilarious rude pictures and crafted items from ancient Rome. Here's another Roman lead pipe, and this one is very wide. It's almost as wide as more modern drainage pipes from roof gutters. The marble water collector in the atrium of this house is still in extremely good condition. The frescoes in this house are still in extremely good condition and the colours are very vibrant. As well as the sheer size of the house, you can tell how wealthy they were just by the intricate paintings in every room. This may be the most intricately painted room in the house, and the variety and the depth that you see is just incredible.
Cool bronze statue there.
The courtyard or peristyle of this house is remarkable. Decorated with bronze statues, marble bowls, benches and statues, still in wonderful condition, and this is also where I saw more lead piping lining the middle of the courtyard, stretching around the entire perimeter, which was incredible to see.
God, look at this ancient lead piping that goes all the way around.
There's also this room which I thought may have been a bath due to the raised walls, and it has an awesome huge plug, but the design seems very purposeful with the drainage channel and the centre cutout, and I do wonder if these wall slits play a role also. I've tried searching online and can't find any information on this room. I'll keep searching and we'll make a separate video if it turns out to be more than just a bath. There was one more room of paintings to visit on the way out of this house, but House of the Vettii was very impressive, definitely a must visit while in Pompeii.
Well, this tells a bit of a strange story again, because look at where the cart tracks run into over there. These are very deep grooves. Oh, so these ceilings are so high. That wall must be 12 meters-ish.
And this is what I bought my torch for. Nobody else thinks of this. Even though there's not that much to see, but still, you never know.
Yeah, pretty much empty.
This house has a set of steps that goes up to the second floor, but it's blocked off unfortunately. But it's less than 2 foot wide, it's very thin.
God, such a steep, narrow stair set.
That'd be cool if you could go up there.
There was a barrier here, so I wasn't sure if we could enter the courtyard, but it turns out that you could just go through this side entrance.
Ooh. Probably to hold water, and that's about it. Yeah, just a cute little garden. And these pillars are a different design than what we've seen. They've got circular bottoms And like, is that octagonal maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
When you see little corridor, all
Yeah,
this
8.
is for the servants. Then you have the
Octagonal.
right step into the main,
Nice courtyard. Oh, it's got different pillars. It's got a square pillar on the corner over there, and then it's got the regular rounded pillars with the kind of, I'm going to call it a serrated shape. Because yeah, they got square pillars, and then they got these octagonal pillars, and they got the normal pillars. That's quite varied. And that's probably where they have the well for this place, but it's all been filled in since it got covered.
On this mosaic flooring under these missing tiles, you can see how the floor has a layer of some sort of plaster or concrete. Then they scored the required mosaic design as a guide for the tiling work. You can even see where they painted the plaster the colour that the tile above it would be. It's always really cool when you see the method of an ancient civilization's work and how much thought was put into something. These were for cooking in large pots that would sit on a lip while they had a fire underneath. This is part of a fast food shop, so I imagine they would have sold soups and boiled foods and things like that.
These steps, we kind of step up these and find it easier to scoop whatever it was if they cooked stuff in here. There is a little lip there. Yeah. And then just storage. More storage. These look original as well.
They do.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Actually Roman lead pots for cooking. That's amazing. Oh, see the fire place underneath. Oh, they do actually. Oh, this one reaches the floor. Oh gosh. That does seem like original lead. And because it's moulded into it, I think that is Roman.
At this point, I only have a couple of streets left to explore. The only notable house left to visit is the House of the Faun on the way back to the entrance, but I still managed to see some unique things, like this political graffiti protected with acrylic next to this meat and fish shop, like a sort of butcher's I guess, and has unique preparation bowls unlike any shop I've seen in Pompeii. I think this was the narrowest street I saw in all of Pompeii, at least one with raised curbs. This was probably a hitching post to tie animals up at the side of the road, but again it's the only one I've seen like it in Pompeii. This road is characterised by these nubs on the side of the road next to the pavement, which I'm not sure what the purpose of these was. And this is a big plain shop counter on the stretch that I haven't seen anything like in Pompeii as well. Here's some random decorative stonework that I saw on a wall on the way past. And here is some terracotta piping that is built into the wall in one of these shops. Reaching the House of the Faun, I see it has its own shop out front, similar to some other wealthy villas I've seen on my journey.
Marble step on the way in. Very fancy entrance. Nice flooring and walls and miniature pillars. And then this would have been their water catcher to the cistern under the house, with the faun statue that this house is known for. And that's where the water would have drained to the cistern underneath. And then I'm not sure if that's a modern cover-up of where the well would have been to access. You got more pillars over there, water catcher, so there would have been another roof up there with a hole in front, with a hole in it. Oh, I think this is the first kind of like cube geometric mosaic we've seen in Pompeii. That is awesome. With tiny, tiny mosaic tiles around the outside, all in white. And how it looks like every room in the house had these kind of walls. Quite fantastic, really. It's very interesting how all this red brickwork is just one layer snaking through the wall. I wonder what the reason was. There's a tiny one here as well. Not sure.
There's a few walls I've seen in Pompeii with these snaking bricks. I was wondering if they're decorative for some reason, but they may have just been to repair cracks made from earthquakes, or even the original construction. What do you think?
I'm very interested how they've done all this. Oh, and it goes all the way around. And then meets the wall over here as well. Mad. Marble steps into most rooms and most areas. Gosh, this house is huge. And you got this little garden courtyard area. There's some quite unique mosaics in this House of the Faun. And another courtyard here. I mean, there's the one little garden area we were just in. And then here are full-size pillars.
There's also an entrance with decorative marble on the floor at the rear of the house that enters this large courtyard from the other side.
Probably for storage of some sort. It is cut underground, so are they using the slightly cooler underground soil to maybe keep things cool? Like things in Amphitheater. And then this looks like the House of the Fauns well. Let's see if we can get a better light down there. There's going to be nothing down there, is there? But no, I can kind of see the bottom though. I think that stretches about another 5 foot below the ground, something like that, maybe 6. Oh, it looks like it angles down more then though. I'd love to see what the cisterns look like underneath the house, or the complex that the water was draining to. I wonder if they got diagrams online. God, this is huge. This is probably about 1 meter 20 across, maybe 1 meter 30 or 40. It's quite hard to judge. And then look at this. Got a plug in this one. And then this is the last walk stretch back to the forum before exiting. God, you've got to be looking down whenever you're walking very often here, otherwise you're just going to trip over these irregular stones. And this is all marble floored through the forum entrance. Just to think that this whole floor was probably marble. It would have been amazing.
We were in time to see the antiquarium today, which I'm glad we were because there were some amazing items inside that had been found in Pompeii.
A bronze heater of some sort. And then they got bronze amphorae. Pots, bronze pan, bronze jug, bronze kettles, bronze bowls, a bronze scooper, not sure if that was a coal scooper, a bronze oil lamp, more terracotta dishes and things, a bronze pot, and some glassware. So you can see all their different painting pigments. You can really feel the colours when you see all the frescoes and everything, and then the colours that they used. Oh, it's incredible. Obviously this is a plaster cast or recreation, but yeah, you can see the original steelwork, or ironwork I should say.
I'll play the rest of the pictures I took at the antiquarium, as this was the last stop before leaving Pompeii. So I really hope you've learned some things from this video tour of Pompeii, and if you're planning on visiting yourself, I hope it's given you a good feel of the city and given you a good idea of what you would really like to see. I have more videos coming up, including a video showing all the body casts I saw in Pompeii, all the adult related things, and more. So subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I upload next. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please also check out my Patreon for ad-free uncut videos, or consider becoming a channel member here on YouTube. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves out there.